Welcome everyone to another episode of Power Core Productions and Podcastings. I'm your host Javon Harrington, back to hit you another video. And today we're going to be continuing Neon Genesis Evangelion, The Star of Hope, Part 7. Now that we have arrived to this part, we are now approaching the end of this series. After this part, there is only going to be one more left. That will be Part 8. And this will bring it to a close. I do want to say though, as we've come to the end of yet another installment, the first part in the Heroes of the Morphing Grid series to actually be brought to an end, I do want to say thank you to everyone who has supported Power Core Productions and Podcastings, as I always do. And I want to thank everyone who's really enjoyed the series. Getting a chance to do this, I've had to go and rewatch Neon Genesis Evangelion, and it's left me with a lot more questions and answers like it did the first time I watched it. I do want to say that going into these next two parts, this part that you're about to watch as well as the next part, I've had to play around with some of the story. And what I mean by that is, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about the cluster that is Evangelion, Neon Genesis, and how trying to find what is the definitive ending, what is the true ending to this story, what the story even means as a whole has been very difficult. So that's why I've personally decided that the last endings of these two parts are going to be heavily inspired by the events of End of Evangelion, as well as the final two episodes, that being episodes 25 and 26, and as well as the revised versions of those episodes as well. And my reason for this is, with a lot of things that I could have done, I felt as though this would be the best option, simply because I'm going my own direction with this story, but I want to take elements from the other stories and try to be as faithful as I can to the source material. I am going to also explain that I am also going to say that I've done my own research and I've tried to understand the lore behind Evangelion. Like, I've tried to understand everything, all the characters, and even then, there are still some things that I probably couldn't have completely gotten the full grasp of. So I've tried to be as loose but as coherent to the story as possible, if that makes sense. What I mean is that I'm not trying to go super deep into everything. If there's a plot hole or two, please bear with me, because again, this story, while I do love it genuinely, it is still very, very complicated. So this is just my own rendition of things, and I do hope you'll enjoy it. But anyway, as always, thank you to everyone who supports Power Core Productions and Podcastings. As always, I can't do it without you. You make the channel grow, you make the core grow. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to get into part 7. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Following the Angels' last attack, Nerv was put under immense scrutiny. Many, among its board, committee, and staff, were all placed and brought in for interrogation as well as questioning. Everyone separated one by one. Kozo, Ritsuko, Misato, Kaji, even Gendo himself. Each one giving their own different answers as to what happened. How Ava Unit 1 was able to function on its own without power. All of the ins and outs, although many did not know what was going on. However, Kaji had chosen to stay informed. Even though he knew that doing so could potentially be the cause of his own death, he knew that ultimately he had to do what was right. Finally, though, once all the statements had been taken and all the questions had been answered, everyone had gone their own separate ways. Jason, of course, was only questioned a little bit, but since he wasn't completely a part of Nerv, he really didn't have much that he could give. The only reason why he stuck around was to help out the Rangers, and they were another issue at hand. In the meantime, once everyone were gathered and left alone, Misato will be called to a secret location, along with Jason, as well as Kaji, the three of them needing to talk of everything that happened, as Kaji would explain the ins and outs. Jason, now coming to realize that his suspicions had been right all along, and that there was something wrong with Nerv. Misato would be worried for Kaji's safety, knowing full well that him telling them all this information could result in his death. But Kaji chose to remain cool and level-headed through it all. Kaji, if what you're saying is true, you idiot. Now, there's no need to be worried. I knew what I was getting myself into a long time ago. But it's the truth, and someone has to say something. Besides, you've got Jason here to look out for you. But who's going to look out for you? Well, Jason, anything to say? It seems like there's always something like this no matter where I go. People always trying to get after power. Sele, Nerv, all of them. We can't just keep them in the dark. You know that. I know, Jason, but what are we supposed to do? They can't handle something like this. And even if they could, how are we supposed to? It's going to be fine. You have to be able to have faith. Jason, you're a great guy, and I want to. I really do, but look at us. Look at what we're going up against. Between this, the Machine Empire, whoever this Lord Draken is, and if or whenever he shows up to our world, I just don't know if we can... Jason would grab her by the shoulders, looking at her confidently and intensely as he always had. Misato, we can't give up. Giving up, that's how they win. Look, I know I'm not from this world, and I probably have no right to speak on what should and shouldn't happen. But I know one thing. There are innocent people out there. People who have no stakes in this. Whose lives are going to be destroyed by people who are evil and selfish. I can sit back and do nothing, but that's not who I am. I don't care if I am the only one. I will fight until I have nothing left to give. And if you are willing to fight, then I will stand beside you. You really are a good guy, Jason, Kaji would say, as he took a drag from his cigarette. So, looks like we're going to be going up against the powers that be. Well, at least I got a chance to see my watermelon patches. After some time, the children would all be gathered together, all of the Zeo Rangers. For Shinji, he was a bit nervous, but he had been suspecting something for a long time now. Everyone had, but there was no telling what they were going to be getting themselves into. Before leaving, though, Shinji would get a call from Ritsuko, telling him of a specific time to meet with her. He would tell this to Misato and the others, and they would all go in unison. Misato, keeping her gun ready, would keep it pointed at Ritsuko, as Ritsuko would invite them all inside into the lower domains of Nerv. She had had enough, and she had decided it was time to show them all the truth, to show them everything. As she did so, they all saw things that were rather unnerving. They were led to a room that Shinji and Toji and Kinsuke and even Asuka, they felt as though they had seen this room before. Rei recognized it instantly. She felt as though it were her home in a sense, but she couldn't quite figure out why. Misato would make a point to explain that this wasn't what they came here for. Kaji and Jason close behind. Ritsuko knew that, and as such, she would continue to lead them into a dark, large, enclosed space. She would then explain everything. Every horrifying detail. Her rather unprofessional relationship with Shinji's father. A relationship that even her mother shared. Her mother's suicide and fated death. The maker behind the Magi system that ran Nerv. All the affairs, the lies, the secrets, everything came out at once until finally the room would be illuminated and they would all see for themselves. Floating, a bunch of rays, clones. The original Rei couldn't understand what was happening. She felt as though her mind was going to break. She felt as if she were going to be driven insane. Toji and the others would just look on, horrified. Even Asuka, she felt as though she were disgusted. Jason would hold on to Rei closely, trying to shield her from what she was seeing. Misato would ask her how she could do something like this, how they could do something like this. Don't laugh, Ritsuko. Why? Just why on earth would you? Because, Misato, man has tried to play God, and this is his folly. Isn't it ironic? It is indeed. Everyone in the room would turn to see none other than Gendo Ikari. In his hand he held a gun. Jason stood ready. He knew that if he moved fast enough, he might be able to shield the others, but he knew how long it would take for him to morph. There was no telling how fast Gendo could be with a gun. So it seems you figured everything out, Jason. My. I had a feeling about you the first moment we laid eyes on one another. Feelings mutual, Ikari. I haven't really trusted you either. Father, what is the meaning of this? Shinji would say. Misato would try to tell Shinji not to go forward, but Shinji would do so. Rei and everyone else looked on as father and son stood face to face. You bastard! Shinji punched Gendo in the gut. It was completely out of left field, causing Gendo to drop his gun immediately. Kaji quickly ran over and picked it up. Gendo saw a lot of things. He expected a lot of outcomes, but the one thing that he didn't expect was that his own son would punch him. Well, it seems that that's how you truly feel. Shinji punched him in the face once again. Misato and the others wanted to run to Shinji, but Jason stopped them. Jason, we can't let... No. They have to handle this themselves. Just trust him. Is this what you've been up to, huh? For all these years? Well, answer me, damn it! What answer could I possibly give you? I don't want to hear that crap. Not from you. No. Especially not from you. Everything you've put me through. Everything you've put us through. What's been the purpose? I want the truth. Tell me. Tell me now. Fine. You want the truth? I'll tell you. I have done everything I can because I want to see her one more time. Her? Her who? Who are you talking about? He's talking about your mother, Shinji, Miss Ritsuko would say. My mother? What does my mother have to do with this? Shinji, haven't you always felt that there was something different about you in Ava Unit 1? A bond, if you will. A bond? Yes. You and Ava Unit 1. The reason why you both sync together so well, it's because there can be no other. Shinji, no. I will tell him. Gendo would stand once again. Shinji, during the events of Second Impact, your mother's very soul was trapped inside of Ava Unit 1. My what? You can't be. Open your eyes, boy. You know that it is true. You have felt it multiple times. You can feel Ava Unit 1. You can feel a presence within it. Something that guards over you, that protects you. It is her. No. My mother died. No, she lives. She lives in the soul of Ava Unit 1. That is why you are its pilot, why there can be no other. Then what have you been? The powers that be wish to enact human instrumentality, to merge all souls and beings into the primordial soup. It is said to have been written down beforehand, a prophecy that must be fulfilled. It was their goal to merge all of mankind together into one. But as for me, my goal is simple, to survive and become one with her once again. So you're saying that all this time, Asuka would become angered as well. Are you telling me that all this time, we thought that we were fighting for humanity, that we were fighting to save the world, and we've just been fighting to bring its own destruction? Everyone's faces said it all. Kinsuke, Toji, Asuka, Shinji. Rei was still taking it all in. Kaji, Jason, Misato, Ritsuko, and Gendo. All of them gathered in that room. Everything was now starting to come out, but what could they do? What could even be said at a time like this? What could even be done? Shinji's mind would start to break once more. He would find himself drifting. Another vision. A vision of that timeline. Where am I? Where? I am you. Who is me? I am Shinji Ikari. I am the one whom you see in your mind. I am the one whom you project yourself in others' minds. No, You're not me. Oh, but am I not? So you have learned the truth. It seems now you know what you truly are. And what's that? You are nothing. You lived for the adulation and the appreciation of others. But now you have come to learn the horrifying truth that in the end, your life was expendable. Your life did not mean anything to him. The praise, the honors, they were little more than appeasement. Like giving a dog a belly rub. Shut up! You don't know anything about me. But I am you, and you are me. No matter how far our roads deviate, in the end, we will still meet the same fate. That's a bunch of crap and you know it! It's funny seeing myself have so much backbone. And why is that? Because, in the end, that's not who you truly are. If it wasn't for Jason, you wouldn't be where you are today either. What do you mean? Jason makes you feel important. He makes you feel like you're needed. To be a Power Ranger, to save the world, that's little more than a kid's dream, a fantasy. When in reality, you would never make a difference. So why lie? Why bother yourself? Deep down, you know it to be true. Deep down, you know that they hate you. No one truly loves or cares about you. And just what gives you the right to say that? Because I am you. Shinji's mind would start to see images. He would start to see the unseen timeline, or as you would know, the original Evangelion. He would see all of the horrible things that happened. He would see everything. Unprivy to the world that he was in, he would see the fate that befell all those who he held close. The death of Ritsuko, the death of Misato. In this world, he was no Power Ranger. He was simply an Eva pilot, and a pathetic one at that. He would see himself strangling Asuka, the death of Rei, the beginning of human instrumentation. He would see it all, the beginning, the middle, the end. He would see it over and over. He would see the Spear of Longinus, something that they had had to use during their fight against the angels not too long ago that had been lost. But now it all made sense. Do you understand now? Do you understand how pointless it is to fight? How pointless it is to struggle? Just give up. It's over. No matter what road you take, our destiny still remains the same. No. No. That can't be true. Shinji would look up once more. However, now he would see himself. There would be two Shinjis standing in a plane. One dressed as Zeo Ranger 5 Red, and the other dressed in his Eva pilot suit. The two Shinjis locked eyes with one another, both seeing their other face. The life that they could have lived, the road that they had gone down. Do you truly wish to fight your fate? Is that truly what you want? Of course it's what I want. And how can you say that with such conviction? Because I've seen it. I've seen it. It doesn't mean anything. People can change. We can change. You truly believe such foolish... It's not foolishness. It's not. It's not foolish to want to change, to want to better yourself, to want to be different. Nothing's wrong with wanting to love and be loved. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know what is wrong? Wallowing in my own self-pity. You're right. I do want to be appreciated by others. I want people to depend on me. But I want it for the right reasons. I want people to depend on me because they can. I want to be someone that people can look up to. I want to love and I want to be loved by others. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be accepted. But what is wrong is giving up. To sit around and feel sorry for myself? Why? Because it's the easy way out? It's easy to run. I'm pretty sure that's what you've done your whole life. You think so? I know so. I've seen it. Every time you chose to run away, you chose to try to take the easy way out, yet you keep coming back. You don't come back because you think it's the right thing to do. You do it because you're selfish, because you don't have anything else. I had everything, Shinji, and I lost it. They're all gone. Everything. Nothing matters in this world anymore. Why do you think that you can make a difference? Why? Huh? Because you have some powers? Because some guy from another world felt sorry enough to take pity on you? You think a little bit of training and flying around in a robot is going to make you any different from me? Wake up! You're no different than I am, and I should know. You and I are both Shinji Ikari, one and the same. It doesn't matter how many roads you take to get there. It doesn't matter how many lives you live, how much you deviate from the timeline. In the end, it will all remain the same. We are nothing. No! I am not. I have a reason to live. And I won't let you take that from me. Fine. Go on and fight. Go on and struggle if you want. But when you fail, don't say I didn't warn you. Shinji's mind would go completely dark, and he would find himself back in that room once again, surrounded by everyone who would be looking at him. Everyone would be a bit astounded. They couldn't tell what happened to Shinji, but for whatever reason, he looked as if he had lost his mind, as if he had been in a trance, as if he had seen something that none of them could. Shinji? Jason would say as he walked towards him. What happened? What did you see? I saw myself. I saw everything about myself. What does that mean, Shinji? Truthfully, I hate myself. But that's not a bad thing. I saw myself. I saw a future. I saw a world that could be. And I know that that's not the world I want. It's not the world I want to live in. My destiny is what I choose. It's what I want it to be. It's what we should all want it to be. Shinji looked around to see everyone. He felt extremely nervous. He had never talked so much in his life. Rei would look up as she walked towards Shinji. Rei, no matter what happens, we are going to protect you. But you know, Father, we are going to protect her. She is one of us. She's our family. And I won't let anything happen to her. I won't run again. Rei, you are Rei Ayanami. That is who you are. You are no one else but her. You have your own life, and you can live it how you want to. No one has the right to define that for you. Absolutely no one. Shinji would glare at Ritsuko. and that is father. You are Rei Ayanami, Zeo Ranger 2 Yellow. You are a member of the Zeo Power Rangers. But how can I? All of these? No. They're not you. You are you. There's only one you, and that's never going to change. Shinji would give her a hug. The other Rangers, as scared and as frightened as they could be, they would join in the hug as well. Rei would be surrounded by Kensuke, by Toji, and Asuka. Jason and the others all watching on as the children banded together, before finally turning to face Gendo. I hope you understand that we quit. I see. And so what are you going to do now, son? It all ends. Everything. This, Nerv, Sele, we're going to destroy them all. That is a bold claim. Are you sure that you can do such a thing? We don't have a choice. We are not going to let this world go to hell because of you and your ambitions. Son, you once told me that you and I, if we were to ever face as enemies, I know. I want you to know that no matter what, you are still my son. And you are still my father. But I can't save you from yourself. I didn't know Mom for very long. But I know that she wouldn't want you to be like this. This isn't what she wanted for the both of us. And on that regard, I am sorry. I should have reached out to you, even when you pushed me away. I let you wallow in your own darkness, and I let you go down this road. You were but a boy. There was nothing you could do for me. But there was something we could have done for one another, even now. You must do what you must do, Shinji. I will not stop you. Understood? Alright guys, let's move. Shinji would run out of the room with the other Rangers quickly behind him. He wasn't sure what he was going to do, but whatever it was, he knew that they were going to do it together. Jason would stand alongside Misato and Kaji and the others. So, this is the effect you've had on my son, Jason. Maybe. But his strong will, his motivation, his drive, he doesn't get that from me. He got that from you. I was never really much of a father to him. It's not my place to say. But you have a chance to do the right thing now. It's not easy for me. Even if I wanted to. I've gone too far. I can't stop now. Gendo would remove his hand, revealing that it had been mutated and changed. Misato, clutching on to Jason, not being able to recognize what she was seeing. So, this is the choice you've made, huh? Ritsuko, shut it down. What? Shut it down. Shut it all down. But the dummy plug system, shut it down. Ritsuko would do as she was instructed, and with that, all of the rays would be destroyed, and now only one would remain. I will buy as much time as I can. Sele is going to send their forces, and they will be here soon. Is there anything you can tell us? Misato would ask. In all likelihood, you will come into contact with the last angel. He is a young man. He is said to have been born on the day of second impact. I do not know what power he holds. That is all that I can tell you. Kaji would look on to Ritsuko and help her up. Aren't you quite the gentleman? Well, I try to be. Also, we're going to have to get ready since we're going to be having a fight on our hands. But I don't think we'll have to worry for too long. And why is that, Kaji? Misato would ask. Well, even though Sele is potentially the biggest threat we will have to come across, there is just one more bigger threat that we may have to deal with. And I may or may not know that that bigger threat is on its way to deal with Sele as we speak. Jason would look to Kaji horrified. You don't mean? From what I've been able to gather, it seems as though those last two generals are on the move. I believe General Black and General Red. Yeah, we've been trying to find them, but what are they up to? Meanwhile, in the private meeting halls of Sele, all of its members would be gathered together. The group that had been behind Nerv, the group that had been controlling the world's governments, to lead the world into human instrumentality. Before they could make their next decision known, they would be set upon as their base had been discovered. And just who are you? Well, my name is General Black, along with my associate General Red here. Now that we have discovered the truth of this world, we now know how to obtain its power, to become God. The generals would pull out their quantum sabers, and they would slaughter every one of the council members, the committee. All of it would be brought to an end. As they walked around the halls, seeing all of the slaughtered and strewn bodies, they would make their way to what they were truly looking for. They would find a young man with pale skin and gray hair, with bright red eyes, dressed in a white shirt and black pants. As he hummed to himself, "You are the one." So, it seems you finally made your move, and you did not try to stop us. Oh no, I have no stakes to play in this personally. I assume you've come for them. The boy would point, and lining up against the wall would be 5 unused Evangelion, all ready to be placed under command. The power of the gods at our fingertips. We will use this power to steal the Zeo crystals for ourselves and to destroy the Rangers. And once we have done so, we will obtain the power of God, at which point no one will be able to stop us. Not even Lord Draken. I see. So, even for machines, you too crave the powers of a god. The two generals would attempt to attack the young man, but he would activate an AT field blocking them as he would fly high into the air, destroying the facility in its wake. As he hovered above them, he would be shocked once again as the generals would move to intercept him, attacking and attempting to destroy him once and for all. The young man attempted to fight and hold them off as best he could. However, once the general was able to get hold of the Evangelion and morph it into its will, it changed in color, becoming almost entirely black. It morphed and transformed into a shape similar to that of Eva Unit 1, only instead of being purple with trims of green, it was instead completely dark. A black metallic armor forming around it. It was as if it were a dark version of Eva Unit 1, its eyes glowing bright red as it grabbed the young man. So, this is how it ends. Indeed, this is the will of the machines. The young man would be destroyed, as the second general would take hold of another Evangelion. The two would then set their sights on Tokyo 3 to descend upon Nerv headquarters. They were going to retrieve the Spear of Longinus, and they were going to bring this fight to an end, using the others that were left as their own dummies. They would use their own dummy plugs, created using the data that they had stolen. Every fight and every encounter had been leading up into this moment. They essentially had their own army of Evangelions. The two generals, along with the 3 other units that were now under their control. They would move and make their way to Nerv headquarters, as the others back in Tokyo 3. The Rangers sat on a hillside. The city had long since been evacuated, since they knew that the fight was going to be coming to them rather soon. Jason and Misato would watch the children as they looked at what might be their last sunset. Shinji would sit beside Asuka, neither saying a word as they held each other's hand. Toji had not much to say. His sister had been moved for safety, along with the class representative. He had gotten a chance to speak to her before she left, and he gave her a kiss goodbye. She told him to promise that he would be back, and he told her he would, but he even felt uneasy. Kensuke, well, all his life he thought that piloting an Evangelion would be something amazing, but now it just sounded horrifying. And knowing what they had put his friends through, well, he wasn't sure he wanted any part of it either. And Rei would be sitting off not too far from either of them. She herself, well, she wasn't sure of what or who she was. Asuka, with her head lying on Shinshi's shoulder, would look up to him. "What are you thinking about, dummy?" "To be honest, I'm not sure. But I know that this is where I need to be right now. I know that this is our home. We have to fight for it. Kids, they would all turn to see Jason standing beside Misato. You guys have been the best group of rangers that I have ever seen. You've overcome great hardship and struggle. To be where you are now, well, it's nothing short of amazing in my opinion. Honestly, I hope that a situation like this would never come. A situation where you all might potentially lose your lives. I can't ask any of you to stay and fight. My Pyramidas is more than capable. If I can hold them off long enough, then maybe I can... No. Shinji would stand first. You're not going to fight this alone. I'm not going to let you. None of us are going to let you. Everyone would stand together. Misato would hold on to Jason's hand. None of us. You're not fighting alone. We're going to win. We're going to live to see a tomorrow. No matter what happens. We're going to wake up. We're going to see the sun rise, and we're going to smile. Everyone looked at one another. While Ray was still a bit worried, as she didn't fully understand what even she was at the moment. She knew one thing. She trusted Shinji above all else. And she knew that she was not going to let him fight alone either. The Rangers all got together, each one standing beside the other, as they looked up into the night sky as the sun set behind them. The final battle was fast approaching. The battle that had long since come to pass. There was only one enemy left to defeat, and that was the Evangelion themselves. They were the last line of defense for humanity. Either the generals would be stopped, along with their ambitions for third impact, or the world would be brought to an end. This concludes Neon Genesis Evangelion, The Star of Hope, based on the Heroes of the Morphing Grid series, Part 7. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is Power Core Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the near future. Stay tuned for other episodes that we're going to be having on the channel this week, wrapping up a few other series and maybe even starting some new ones, so stick around for all the fun. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with Power Core Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.